Hi, how are you doing, my dear YouTube friend? In this video, we're gonna talk about life after the spiritual awakening. Welcome to the new earth. Congratulations, you are chosen. So, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I hope you are enjoying my content here. I try to make a lot of different content, so it's because I have a lot of information, guys, not just my main topic from my other channel, that is reincarnation. I have a lot of different topics that is part of the spiritual awakening, right? It changes our lives forever. So I hope you really like this video. Please share, like it, give it a thumbs up, activate the notification bell button, and then of course subscribe. So yeah, I don't want to miss like the hero journey, the steps, because it happened to me when in 2022, like I said. So the first step of the spiritual awakening, like in my case, it was the calling. It looks like a terror movie. The name, the calling. Actually, I was living in Los Angeles when I had the calling happening. I was living in Pacific Palisades near Topanga. That's where I was residing at the moment. And from some reason I had the urge to travel to where I was born, that is in Uruguay, Montevideo, Uruguay. If you guys know the south cone of South America next to Argentina, that's where I'm from. So yeah, I felt the calling. So I came over here. Yes, I will say 3 months after, I start feeling anxious for no reason. I start crying. I felt that something was coming. I didn't know what it was, and that I couldn't predict. And I saw it was something was gonna change over here. I don't know what it is. And the calling, I had my spiritual awakening through meeting my other self, my twin flame. This person was arriving exactly at the same time because he's also from Uruguay, but he was living in the US too. The same time that I arrived here, the same year. So that was the calling. So I met my twin flame. I had my spiritual awakening that way. That has some of the different characteristics, especially in the dark night of the soul for the twin flames, is horrible. So it has things that doesn't have in other spiritual awakenings. It's a really painful one. It's crazy. You have something called obsessive thinking, feeling the ghost of your twin flame following you around all the time, like somebody stab you in the chest, like existential pain. You cry all day long. It was just the worst thing that happened to me. You have like an addiction with this person. It's all paranormal. So you have like a little romantic phase that it just lasts maybe not more than a month. For me, it lasted 2 weeks or less. And then I went right into the ego death. The ego death, or the dark night of the soul. Sorry, I'm with my squishy here. The ego death, or the dark night of the soul, is actually the dark night of the ego, because the soul doesn't die, right? We are immortal beings having and human experience that we come to discover when we have our spiritual awakening, that this is all bullshit. And I was so upset too. Why all my life I was asleep believing in all this bullshit, right? In all this crap. They were just mortal beings in linear time. They were like robots, that we are our minds, that we don't have a way to escape, that we don't have a way to trust ourselves. We always have to trust something that is external to us, seek validation, being in the rat race, being in the beta waves in survival mode, feeling like shit. That's our natural state, right? We come to realize all that. So in the dark night of the soul, that's when the ego collapses, when your personal identity breaks down and the real self, the soul, starts to getting revealed. So I was feeling really tired. I was laying in bed a lot, like I was so tired I couldn't sleep. I couldn't even eat because I was feeling like I was experiencing the Kundalini, that it just came at once. I didn't have to travel to some kind of place in the Amazons to try some plant. It just happened to me just by meeting my other reincarnation, right? The Kundalini was crazy, guys. I developed all my psychic abilities. I didn't know what was happening to me. I was feeling like, I was on some kind of ayahuasca or something for like a year, guys. It was so surreal. I didn't know what was going on. I started kind of like avoiding to be around people, and I also was laughing so much, laughing. You know, emotions are polarity, are duality. So on the other side, when that euphoric peak will come down, oh my God, I will crash, I will cry and scream and roll in the floor for hours. I start getting a lot of marks in my body from all the stress of the spiritual awakening. I even lose hair, lose like 20 pounds in a month. I was skin and bones almost. I didn't even realize. I didn't care. I couldn't care. I was like somewhere else. I didn't talk. Like, I didn't smile. People were saying to me, you are different, there's something. Even your face changed. What happened to you? People were looking at me in the street. I tried to escape to LA again to see if this would go away for a while. And no, as soon as I arrived to the airport in Santiago in Chile, the synchronicities. I was feeling that there were no countries even. I was somewhere. I was just on planet Earth. And when I arrived to LA, all the synchronicities were following me. I was feeling even worse. I started feeling like shit in LA, crying all the time. I finally got a car that I wanted to buy for so long, that I manifested, like the red Jeep Rubicon. I didn't give a fuck about it. I was crying in the car. I had to stop myself when I was driving just to cry. I was feeling like trash. I didn't give a fuck about nothing that was material. My house, the car. I was just going through all this paranormal stuff. I was seeing a light show in front of my eyes all the time. I will look at myself in the mirror and I will start crying. Like, I will feel this pain in my chest, like I'm dying. What is going on? I couldn't sleep. It was a battle to sleep every night for me, to sleep like for maybe 2 hours. I couldn't sleep. I was hiking the Santa Monica Mountains, dragging myself to the Santa Monica Mountains because that's where I lived. I was looking at the sunsets, the beautiful Malibu sunsets, right? Where everybody wants to be. I was looking at the sun like it was dark. Everything kind of went dark for me. People were looking at me like, wow, what is going on with this woman? She has something. She's some kind of vampire or something. She knows something that we don't. I thought they realized that I was empty. I didn't have an ego anymore. I didn't have a personal identity. That's so painful, right? To lose this personal identity that we hold on for our whole life. And we realized that all that was bullcrap, that it was not even real. So I felt like I wasted my life, you know? All these years to live in an illusion, to live in separation, to live in Mara, to live in Maya. So let's keep going with the video. Like I say, you don't talk too much, but you can really talk like I do in these platforms. You start finding, I went into the voice stage right after. I used to have a clinic, a makeup clinic over here, and they robbed it. So I was like 3 months without working. They stole almost all my machines. I was doing like permanent makeup and everything. They took everything, even the coffee, whatever it was. It was a mess. I went through so much stuff. I couldn't believe it. Like, it was a struggle. It took me like 4 months to get back into the business. Then I was still working when I came back to Uruguay for a while. I'm still here right now. Excuse my English sometimes, of course. I was feeling like I didn't want to do anything anymore. Like everything was void. Everything was just superficial. And I didn't even want to like go and teach like my music classes. Like, I didn't want to do anything. I didn't have the energy. I was having my kundalini. I was feeling like I was on a psychedelic. I was having problems with electricity. I was blocking the paying machines in the supermarkets. My energy was so strong. I was having problems with the microwaves, with the electricity in the kitchen. Of course, the synchronicities were everywhere. It didn't matter where I was. I was in my dark night of the soul. Then, of course, I went into the voice stage that it was the time, okay, life is never gonna be the same. Now you have to, you were born again. Now you have to come back from this experience like the phoenix and reinvent yourself. That's what I discovered. There was no turning back. So I had the intuition that it was through YouTube. Some kind of thing like that I have to share my experience at least. So it took me a lot to do that. I have a lot of resistance. I have a lot of fear of stepping into that, or being judged. Mostly from the people that used to know me, like my friends and family, what they were gonna think of me. That was my kind of void stage. Then the transformation, like I start getting addicted to receiving and watching YouTube videos and reading about metaphysics, the spiritual world, of course, twin flames, non-duality, presence, meditation. I was meditating by my own without even knowing. My mind will just shut down. There was no more talking, no more thinking. I was gone. I will be with my eyes closed most of the time because the quantum field was so active for me, and I developed all these psychic abilities that I use it today. Like, I do my coaching, as you guys probably know, on my YouTube channels. I met awesome people. I do tarot readings, I do constellations, I have a tarot also for people just in general, people that I do it like here in my house. Just they don't know all this about me, right? But I that's a way that I earning my money now through my psychic abilities. So yeah, life changed a lot for me. So yeah, I was reading all this information, but at the same time I knew all this information already. It was they were not telling me nothing new. I already knew it. I was just kind of like restudying what my heart knew. Somehow my mind hid it from me all my life, right? Then you go into this hermit phase. Like, you can feel people's emotions, people's sadness, people's envy, people's hate, people's misery, even when people are happy. You can feel people's thoughts. I was so scared of going into places that they were so crowded. I was dragging myself, like I couldn't even buy a fucking Coke. I didn't want to go to a crowded place at all. I wanted to hike in the mountains or in the snow or in the desert, or just be with my pets over here, go to the beach, whatever it was. I didn't want to be with people. I didn't want sound around me. The mind, the sound was so much annoying for me. I developed so much my 5 senses, so everything was so bright. It was like every day, every second, life was something unknown, something, wow, look at that tree, look at the colors of those leaves, look at the rain. I will be like, we have here in Uruguay like big storms, like you guys have probably like in Missouri or something like that, or Kansas, whatever, right? So I will be in the fucking storm outside, just standing on the storm. I wouldn't care. I don't know what was happening to me. It was sad. It was kind of sad. But I didn't have fear anymore. I lost fear of death. I didn't have fear of being, because I realized that I was an immortal being having a human experience. So then, yeah, I went through my hermit phase, like I already told you, I think. I had the tendency of not being around people, but I kind of forced myself into it too. I have a couple of friends that stand by my side, even if they didn't know what happened to me. They helped me a lot. But I also, and I imagine that it happened to you guys too, maybe, probably, I lost a lot of friends. And I lost a lot of family members that don't talk to me anymore till today, and they hate me for no reason. They don't even have a reason, they just fucking hate me. People that were the reference for me because I'm an only child. People that were the reference for me growing up, They are not the reference for me anymore, of course, but they hate me, guys, for no reason. I wonder if that happened to you too. Probably you will lose your job, or you will just go away, say, I am not doing this job anymore. I'm going into the unknown. You change your life. Probably this is a drastic life change, this spiritual awakening. Don't expect to go back to the old life. It's not gonna happen. Then you have what is the beautiful part about this. Be careful, don't get stuck in the bad parts of this process that is called the hero trip, the hero journey, right? Be careful, don't be in your dark night of the soul for 5 years. I know it's not easy and it's different for everybody. But I have the integration phase, like finding the elixir and coming back with all these treasures that I discovered, that I already knew, my heart already knew, that I wanted to share with people. That's when I started my YouTube channel. And it was thanks for watching a YouTuber that finally, he was talking about the same, that he was like meditating for 3 years, living in a van with his whole family in the mountains. And he couldn't take it anymore. He had to do something after the awakening. So when are you gonna come back to life? You have to keep going. The world is still spinning, and you have to still pay your bills and feed your family, your pets, whatever it is. You have your bills, right? So you can just live like there's nothing going on. There's still things happening here. We are having this mortal experience. So I decided to make my first YouTube video with an iPhone. That was all I have at the moment. I didn't have the most expensive cameras, the most expensive lights. I didn't even know what to say. I just did it. I quantum leap. Like, I just said, okay, I'm going. And I start talking about my spiritual awakening. And now it's been almost 4 years, and it changed my life. I've been developing myself. I do self-development. I work on myself every day. Like, it's not stopping this. I having like beautiful experiences through meditation. I reached a state of satori, samadhi, neutrality, inner peace. I regulated my nervous system. My heart rate is really low, like 45, 50. Because of the beta waves, just relax. I'm not on alert mode, on survival mode. I'm in the theta, delta, alpha waves, right? Sometimes in gamma waves. We receive all this information. We are like brilliant, right? So it's really common for meditators too to have a low heart rate, or people that have a spiritual awakening. So don't be scared. You can go to the doctor, but don't be scared. If there's nothing wrong with you, I work out every day. I do like an hour of workout, or hard workout every day. That kind of helped me a lot in all this process. I never stopped working out, even in my dark night of the soul. When I had my kundalini, I was feeling the kundalini kind of beating in my spine. I was still running in the beach, doing my gymnastics, whatever it was. Hiking the snow, I didn't care. I was feeling so connected to nature too. I had my first spiritual awakening when I was 14 years old, through a horrible eating disorder. That it just lasted like less than a week, because they thought I was crazy and they just took me in. So I stopped talking, and everybody wanted to come and talk to me, and I was not talking. and I was not thinking. That was my first one. And then I had another one, kind of a spiritual awakening, but I wouldn't define it like that. It was through a book of Carlos Castaneda called The Active Side of the Infinity. It's an exercise that you, in a lucid dream, you train yourself and you jump into an abyss. That's what I did when I was 17. My face was another face after that. I had a lot of nightmares since I was a little child. A lot of subconscious charge, darkness or something that came from somewhere else. I don't know, maybe dragging from another past life or something that I couldn't explain. A lot of anti-Christianity stuff, a lot of satanic stuff in my subconscious. When I was like 6 years old, 9 years old, I didn't even want to say anything to anybody, you know. I was terrified of churches, of religion in general, of course, mostly Christianity. I was lucid dreaming all the time that they were coming from hell and get me, that I was cursed. A lot of paranormal stuff happened to me when I was a kid. I was getting out of my body every night. And that started when I was like 6 or 5 years old. So yeah, it was not so difficult for me to do that exercise because I was already kind of lucid dreaming since I was a kid. So I did that exercise so fast. I jumped into the abyss. And then I started like being independent. I grew up. I changed my identity totally. I even dreamed that they buried me. I have a funeral, and I saw like the dead skin of a snake, and I saw myself dead, like hanging from a door or something. That was when I was 17. I kind of killed myself in a dream, like kill my ego, right? But that was nothing compared to what happened to me in 2022. Of course, I learned all the exercises of Carlos Castaneda, like the second attention, looking at the plants, getting out of your mind, getting your mind out of you, whatever you want to call it, watching that the trees moves without the wind. That's called Stopping the World. It's a book that is called The Second Attention. I used to love that book. They used to hide all the Carlos Castaneda books for me. So when I had my money, I went and buy and bought all the Carlos Castaneda's book because I used to love him. The first book that I came into, it was from Florinda Donner. It was called The Art of the Dreaming or something like that. Daydreaming. It was talking about nightmares and all that crazy stuff that was happening to me. So I say, this is it. I'm going for it. So I have all these books over there and I learned so much. But then I have my big twin flame awakening on 2022, and this is the real one. This is the shit, guys. So well, guys, I hope you really enjoyed this video. I know if you have an spiritual awakening, maybe it was the same for you like it was for me. We are all in the new earth now. We are like, a lot of people are awakening. You are not alone. I found a lot of great friends all over the world. It's amazing, and I'm so happy that I'm helping people, and people tell me, please, Flo, never stop doing what you're doing. Okay, I love you guys. Namaste.